Dell, come on up. So I've left no time for Dell at all, but I'm going to, no, I'm just teasing. Crazy thing is, I met John Mazza at the Dick Weber Classic 1994. I also met Dell Warren at that very same event. The thing that's really wrong about all this is that when John won and we gave him the trophy and it's on ESPN and Dick Weber's standing with him, he's holding this baby. That's not the baby that's here. It's a baby that wasn't even born yet, right? And he's a senior now in high school and he's going to Weber. Circle of life kind of stuff. But anyway, I've asked Dell, as the coach at Weber and a gold certified coach, to spend a little time. We talked with John about losing. I've asked Dell to come in and talk to you a little bit about winning. Not that he knows anything about it.
Thank you. You know some of the kids up here that were flipping around? All three of them are coming to Weber. We'll find out if that's a good thing. And then it just dawned on me when I was asking Gary, I said, who's going to be your motivational guy this year? Last year was awesome. He said, John. I said, John who? He said, John Mazza. And it just occurred to me, you know, I got to coach him for about 3 years. We went through some battles together. You know, when you're trying to make a living, he's trying to feed a young family, and I had just retired from the tour because I got hurt, and I was in the first real job I ever had, and I'm trying to do a good job. We've been through thick and thin, he and I get to coach his son for 4 years. How cool is that? How cool is that? Take care of him, big man, because I'm not concerned about you, I'm concerned about your wife. If I mess up, I know who I'm going to hear from. Couple of things. 3 tips that I have for you, and it's more on the mental side. First thing is, at Weber we have 3 rules that we live by that really govern what we do. And the first one is be present and patient. Now, you heard me talk about, and now that you guys got through a practice session, you can see that the scores are going to be very modest. The scores are, there's going to be a lot of corner pins left, there's going to be a lot of 9 counts, and you're really going to have to do a good job on your spares. If you remember last year, for those of you that bowled, what the scoring pace was like. And so I see a lot of spares missed because people are just not present. They're getting ready to shoot a spare, and they're thinking about literally why they left it, if there's going to be a ball change, if they have to make a move. Maybe they're aggravated because they left it, but they're really not focused on the 2-8 or the bucket or the 10-pin. And if they would just focus on it as if you were in a contest for $1,000 for a scholarship and you had to make a 3-6-10, and that's all you had to do to make $1,000, the level of focus would be different, wouldn't it, than most of the time. So be excellent at being present on every single shot. Not every frame, but every single shot. Number 2, and this is a mistake that I even see by top-level coaches and very caring parents. They try to coach physical during competition. Now, 2 weeks prior to us going to sectionals and nationals, we cut physical off. We know we're not thinking physical game anymore. We're not working on timing, left arm, where your hand is at the top, release, nothing. When you think physical, timing, any part of your body, it is a left brain function. When you bowl, and you're bowling in competition, it is a right brain function. What I mean by that is everybody here has thrown it great when they've warmed up, correct? When you're not thinking about nothing, when you're just taking some shots at half speed, it's amazing how nice that ball comes off your hand. It's on target, it's got roll to it, it has shape to it, and you're not thinking about anything. So many times in a tournament, when you throw a shot that's not, that doesn't have, you know, your desired reaction, you think physical. Well, I pulled that one, I turned it early from the top, the ball came off my thumb leg, and you analyze it. And now you're on the left side of your brain. Or your coach says something about, well, your swing came behind your back, or whatever. Literally, that is a formula for disaster. And when I hear it, I'm in the college ranks, part of me says, man, I need to give this guy my card and sit him down because he's really not doing the student a favor. And it's very easy to do. And until I've looked into this and had a lot of training, and it makes a lot of sense, and messed up a lot myself, it's very easy to do. So students, parents, coaches, no physical during competition. You need to go brain dead. It's all about going from here to here. And you do all your thinking. How many of you heard of Annika Sorenstam? Probably the greatest female golfer of her generation, maybe of all time. Saw an interview with her on the Golf Channel. She said the best tip she ever got was when she was 16 years old. Her coach said, this is the thinking box back here behind the shot. What club am I going to hit? Where I'm going to hit it? How am I going to shape it? How far I'm going to hit it? What the wind's doing? This is the playing box. And all you do is you set up, you get to your posture, you take the club back, and you hit it. You don't play in the thinking box, you don't think, you don't play in the thinking box, you don't think in the playing box. Exactly the same thing in bowling. You do all your thinking back here. Once your foot hits the approach, I'm going from here to here. That's it. I'm going to stick my finish, I'm going to post, I'm going to watch my ball motion go all the way through the pins, see what the lane does, how it breaks down, I'm going to make an adjustment, I'm going to do it again. If you would be very good at that process, you cannot believe how much better you're going to bowl. You can make physical changes while you're bowling. It is it's the opposite brain function of what you're trying to do. It's just like signing your name, as Dr. Dean would say. Nobody here has to think about signing their name. Right? If you've ever done the exercise, you sign your name with one pen, you pull out another pen and try to trace over the top of your name, that's a left brain function. And the second signature is different than the first, is it not? Okay? And the last thing is soak this up. Have fun. There's only a couple events like this I've ever attended in bowling. Gary puts on, I think, the best event in all of bowling. And I don't think there's any events like this that has all this extra stuff that has value to you. Soak it in. You're only a teenager for so long, and I know the parents relate to this more, and I know some of you are out there going, as an old guy, so on and so forth. I know, I bowled juniors. And so when you would get advice like this, you're like, will you be quiet? And my biggest regret, to be honest with you, is I love to bowl. I really did. There wasn't really anybody that loved to bowl more than me. And now that I look back on it, I didn't have enough fun. I didn't enjoy it enough. Enjoy this week. If you're going to junior gold, enjoy going to junior gold. If you're bowling in high school, a lot of you have families here, enjoy being with your family. Okay? Learn from what you're going to do, but really soak it in. The last piece of advice is for the parents. This is something I've had to learn coaching college students. Observation without judgment. Observation without judgment. When our kids bowl, we have 8 on a squad. We're communicating all the time. We're concentrating. We're looking at that pattern. I'm watching their physiologies. And I'm watching both pairs on the side. It's very difficult sometimes to have observation without judgment, but I see it all the time from families. And I know that you want your son and daughter to do well, but if they think that you're judging them, it's crushing them inside. It's putting a tremendous amount of pressure on them. And it's part of the reason why if they're not performing at their best, it's because they feel pressure they shouldn't feel. Okay? And we all have to be aware of our physiologies. And I'm guilty of it, however, because I'm still a bowler in my heart, and so when you flag a 2-pin, and we bowl, and we practice 50 games a week, part of my brain says, how the heck can you miss that? But if that comes across, it's judgment. I think it's the best thing that you can do, is be there to support them through thick and thin. Don't judge a single shot. Nobody likes to not do well. I'm not saying that, but nobody likes to be judged, right? just observe, learn from your observations, have a great time this week, and let's give Gary Beck another hand.
Just what I need, 2 mics. Thank you, Del. Del works... could you do that again? I didn't hear you, really. No, okay.
We love you, Del!
Love you too!
So that really had nothing to do with me, huh? No, Del works for Kegel, and John Davis passed away January. Actually, I had just gone over to Germany to work on a world event over there, and the day that I came back was the day that John passed. And regretfully, I'd actually been in Orlando the day before I left for Germany and was supposed to get together with John, and he got busy and I got busy, so I didn't go over. And but anyway, he was a very strong advocate for what we're trying to do and for youth bowling, and he is sorely missed, but Kegel has continued their support, so thank you, Del. I feel like I should talk twice as much.
Please, no.
DQ. All right, this is running a little long, so if you guys have that video that starts with roll, and we haven't finished this event yet, but because we have a nice stage and a big screen and a killer sound system, we are going to have volume up just a little bit on this. This will tell you what's happening next. To be held in the new bowling stadium being currently built at South Point. I'll have information for you before we leave here on the automatic invites that will be the result of competition here, and our plans for how we're going to stage our qualifying events next year. Let's just say that we will be using a low volume pattern at all of our qualifiers, and we will be using the 2.0 ball in our leagues and our qualifiers. We're going to keep things simple, we're going to keep things inexpensive, and we're going to end up in Las Vegas. Plans are also currently underway that we would have a qualifying event in the new stadium right before the taping of the TV shows for the World Series of Bowling. So you could join us in Vegas, qualify for Teen Masters, and then be part of the World Series of Bowling TV audience on Saturday and Sunday, November 1st and 2nd. So more details coming on that. Do you still have that image, you know, the kids and the music locked in your brain? Could you roll the Tom Clark video? Tom hasn't seen this, by the way. We'll be selling copies of that DVD out in the lobby. Thanks a lot. That is fun.
Wow, I think I was 13 years old, and that was a TV show in Syracuse, New York, and that was a yellow dot, by the way, that I was hooking the whole lane with. This is awesome to be here. I feel like Kevin Hart right now. How many people here wish I was Kevin Hart right now? How many people have seen Kevin Hart bowl? Really? I mean, more people need to check it out. Go on YouTube and check out Kevin Hart bowling. And he bowled on a PBA show with in the PBA Celebrity Invitational, Chris Ball Celebrity Invitational, and his partner was Bill O'Neill, and he made it to the final, and it was Chris Hardwick and Chris Barnes versus Kevin Hart and Bill O'Neill, and I think the final score was something like 280 to 268, and Kevin Hart lost, but it wasn't his fault. He struck every ball. It was a Baker system doubles, and he struck every ball. Bill O'Neill actually blew it for him. But, thank you very much. It's a privilege to be able to speak to you guys. You're not only the future stars of the game, you're the future leaders of the game, and you guys can shape bowling and make it everything that you want it to be. And you know, I think all of us that are older than teenagers are jealous of you to have that opportunity. And it's great to be able to be here. Thanks to Gary Beck for inviting me, and also for having a Teen Masters, which I've always loved. I've watched it every year, whether it was on Extra Frame or what other networks have you been on? Television networks, ESPN, Versus, that's the one that I watched that year. And I don't know if everybody knows, but there will be Teen Masters Championship on ESPN this year when we do the finals at the World Series of Bowling. So it'll be on ESPN again this year. We do that because we want to make sure everybody understands the future of the game is in good hands. But it's great to be here. I also get to take care of a couple of some business. I have a meeting with Cameron Doyle's family, and we're negotiating for the World Series of Bowling to be held in his basement in next year. I don't know, I've watched that on live stream or one of those things. Lane 2, I don't know. Okay. You know, you saw that I was a big fan of bowling. I mean, I used a yellow dot because Marshall Holman used a yellow dot when I was a kid. That was about 1982 or 83 or something like that. And I was just a huge fan of the PBA, and I hope everybody here is. And this, you know, the parents in the room, probably Mark Roth and Earl Anthony and Del Warren and John Mazza were the stars that they looked up to. And now today, I hope you guys are looking up to the Tommy Joneses, you know, the Chris Barnes, Rash, Belmo. Which one do we got? How many Rash? Yeah. How many Belmo? Could you guys take a look at that? I wanted to show you this video my friend made. He works for Extra Frame, Jason Thomas, another bald guy, so it keeps the consistent going. It's number 6 back there, PBA Superheroes, and it means a lot to me. I hope it means a lot to you guys.
When I was 15 years old, a bowler named Bob Benoit came out of nowhere to qualify for his first career PBA Tour telecast. Like me, Benoit was a bit on the small side, a total underdog. And his opponent that day was one of the sports...
It's okay, it's a rough system back there.
You should have got a Mac.
Bring back the dancers.
We'll give it one more try here. Give it up.
It's one of the...
Where's that breakdance? All right, at any time, come on. Okay, that's all right. What it basically is about is just when a great player gets that bowling ball in their hand, you know, they're a superhero, and I think everybody that's here gets that feeling, and when you watch people like the guys I mentioned, the pro bowlers, I hope it inspires you to do great things. It's the players that define it. You know, for your grandparents it was Dick Weber and Don Carter, and for your parents it was Mark Roth and Earl Anthony, and for you guys I hope it's Belmo and Rash, and those guys. And I hope you know that it's not the balls, you know, that define it. It's not the oil patterns. It's not the format of the tournament. It's the players. It's the players that define the game. It's the players that define the history of the PBA, and it's your personalities and how you handle pressure and how you handle all the great moments of the game that make it great. Do I dare try to play another video? This one's short. It's called, it's number, the best thing about my job is my seat at the shows. That's it. There's a lot of tough things about my job, but the best thing is I've got the best seat in the house to watch the greatest moments in the game take place. And I wanted to show you one that just happened at the Summer Swing that's been airing on CBS Sports Network over the last 5 weeks. I think if you go to number 9, Sean Rash, try it. He's going for a 300 game. He's going for, this is his 12th ball, the 23rd 300 in PBA history on TV. Watch for me coming in at the end, and I'll tell you what I told him after the shot. Or maybe not.
Remember games twice in 2012. Jason Belmonte in Vegas, Chris Barnes in Vegas. Hasn't happened since.
Cool. First of all, Sean Rash, Teen Masters bowler, right, Gary? Twice in the Teen Masters. Okay, you probably couldn't hear what I told him after, but first of all, I'm lucky to be able to congratulate him like that. But one of the main things that's on my mind as the PBA commissioner is our budget. And our budget's pretty tight, let me tell you. And when a PBA bowler shoots 300 on TV, we have to pay him $10,000. And that was not budgeted. We weren't planning on a $10,000 budget. So when he's coming over to me and I'm giving him a high five, I basically said, you know we don't have any money, right? That's 10 grand right there. So I let him have it. But we actually paid him. I'm not sure where we got it. I think we got it from, one of the great things that you guys get a chance to experience at the Teen Masters is, and a thing that the PBA is proud to be able to do with you, is the best tournament director in bowling runs this tournament. And that guy's name is Kirk Von Kruger, and he's here in the back room. And Kirk's salary took a hit. But he knows that going in, so it's not a big surprise. I won't play some of these other videos. But real quick, what's the PBA doing to make sure this thing stays healthy, and what are we doing? There's so many new things about the PBA that you know, a lot of things that you hear is that it was better in the old days, it was better in the good old days, and in a lot of ways it was. And the parents in the room remember ABC television every Saturday afternoon, the PBA came on and everybody watched it. Right now we're about to launch this thing called the PBA Network. And what the PBA Network does is it gives you so many different ways to consume professional bowling. Not only national television, we're on ESPN for 30 hours this year, we're on CBS Sports Network for 10 hours this year, but we're also on in ESPN Classic. That's where you can watch John Mazza almost every week on ESPN Classic. Actually, that was on Breaking Bad. I don't know if you know that. It's a trivia question. John Mazza's bowling Breaking Bad episode. But we're also on Extra Frame. How many people in the room get Extra Frame as a subscriber? Wow, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think you'll think it's a benefit. And you can watch Extra Frame live bowling all year long, taped all the archive stuff, not only on your computer, but on your phone, on your tablet. You can, you know, plug it into your TV and watch it on the big screen. But Extra Frame's a part of that network. We have a YouTube channel where all these types of videos are there. And that's become a big part of our network. We have PBA.com. We have social media. How many people in the room are on Twitter?
Everyone.
Okay, and then how many people follow me on Twitter? All right, well just type it into your phone right now, @ClarkPBA. Follow me, I'll follow you back tonight when I get back to the hotel. @ClarkPBA. But you want to follow all the players on Twitter, on Facebook. And then there's just so many other different ways that we touch you. If you're not on our email list, we'll send you emails and tell you what's going on. So in a lot of ways, we reach people better than we used to do in the good old days. When I was a kid bowling like that, I couldn't watch Mark Roth's. I couldn't watch the position round and watch Mark Roth make a show. And now you can watch Sean Rash make that show by watching Extra Frame, by seeing the position round, which is often the most exciting part of the tournament. So we're really happy to bring that to you, and I hope that everybody picks up on it. You guys are the ones who are going to make that work and spread the word to other bowlers. And the more people that subscribe and are part of this PBA network, the more tournaments we can have and the better prize money we can have, because fans are what's the most important thing. The other real quick thing where it's better now than ever is international bowling. With the World Series of Bowling, with the World Bowling Tour and our partnership with it, there are more international players than ever. When I was a kid, the first one that ever even came around, there was a guy named Mats Carlson, there was a guy, and then of course everybody knows Amleto. And that was about it. And then Mika came along in around 2000. But now we've got champions from all over the world, Europe, Asia, you know, Australia obviously. And that is another area where it's more colorful, it's more interesting to watch, and you see styles from all over the world, and you get more impact as to how big bowling is globally. And then someday, because of things like that, someday bowling will be in the Olympics. And hopefully for people in this room to have a chance to play. One other thing I wanted to bring up. Okay, I dare play one. I'm going to try to play one more video. This is a guy we all know, number 8, Pete Weber. Needs a strike to claim it.
No talking.
Strike to claim it. Strike to claim it.
That's what I want you to tweet to me tonight. Who do you think you are? I am. Tweet that to me. But that was obviously for his 5th U.S. Open. And you can see me in the crowd. And I'm looking off to the side. And what I'm doing when I do that is I'm looking at the monitor, because my concern is, did we get that? Did the camera get that? Is that live? I always want to make sure the fans are getting the view. But But what I love about Pete, he said something that I wanted to leave you guys with that I always think about. He said, when I'm bowling on television, I don't want anyone to turn the channel. And that is, you know, brilliant, actually. It's the mindset that you want everyone. Nobody in here, you don't want to be boring. You know, you want to be entertaining. You don't have to go crazy. You know, but, you don't have to be a madman. But you know, it's not that that's what he is. He just feels the game in his bones. He feels winning in his bones. You can sense it the whole match with somebody like Pete Weber. Every shot, you live and die. You cannot like him, and he doesn't care, as long as you don't turn the channel. And I want all the great players, like everybody in this room, to understand that being great at bowling is not the end of if you want to be a professional bowler. To be a professional bowler, you have to be someone that's a leader, that is confident, that looks at the crowd, that lets the crowd feel how they feel, that makes the crowd either like them or hate them, and feels like they care. You care, and you want the crowd to understand that you care. And then nobody's going to turn the channel, and this sport can grow, because it has to be entertaining, and it has to be something that people connect with. And you can connect with the athletes in our sport better than any sport. We're on TV, your face is right there, and you don't want a guy to, you know, miss by a board, still strike, and walk back shaking his head like, I got lucky, you know. No, take luck. You're going to get so many bad breaks anyway. Take the luck. You know who's good at that? Belmo. He gets lucky a lot, and I think it's because he takes it positively. It just comes, he goes into a game saying, I'm going to get lucky, you know, on a few shots, and that's the difference between being a champion and not, and it's the difference of people watching you with a certain way or not. So really, and you can't force that. You can't try to do something that's not natural. But be cognizant of that crowd. Even here this week, and when you're in the finals, you know, if people are clapping, look up, wave to them, say thanks. If you've got the crowd on your side, you've got an advantage. I mean, so it's a big part of professional bowling, and I hope that all you guys grow up. Now, okay, I'm going to leave, Gary. I know we got to get this moving. We're going to try one more video, only because I know the big act tonight is a magic act. So, if you guys could look for number 7, PBA World Series Magic.
A lot of people ask me, what makes pro bowlers so good at what they do? The best way I can describe it? Magic. Pro bowlers are like great magicians. They can see what's invisible to the rest of us and anticipate exactly what they need to do in order to master it. They can do precisely what they want to a bowling ball. They can make it hook. They can make it go straight. And they always do it exactly the amount they need to. And just like magicians, the sleight of hand is all in the wrist.
This guy's got such great touch. He makes this two-handed style of delivery.
I think if it goes past about a minute, we're out of luck, isn't it? Let's go. Yeah. All right. It's a great video. Look it up on YouTube. It'll help us out. Thank you again, and have fun this week.
My apologies. All right, here's the scoop. One last thing, and then we're going to take an intermission and get Collins out here. Del Warren, please stand up. Now this becomes a controversy each and every year. Del, how long have I known you? Oh, geez, the math is really easy. 1994, 2014, that would be 20 years. Del and I have a relationship. He doesn't like me, actually he may like me less than he likes those of you he doesn't know. But Del is a resource here provided by Kegel. There are kids in this room that get lessons from Del on an on a regular basis. Dell happens to know them by their name. He doesn't have to look at their name tag, he just knows them. He doesn't know many of you, especially those of you who are from out of town, who are here for the first time. But Dell is a resource. So we get into this thing about coaching. I don't care who you are, Dell included, you are not allowed in the settee area. All coaching will occur back on the carpet, or at least back out of the settee area. But coaching will occur regardless of whether a guy's got a gold status, or a silver status, or a nickel status, or whatever. My mother never threw a bowling ball in her life, but when she watched me bowl, sometimes she'd go, "Why are you in such a hurry?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm rushing my approach." She's coaching. So the only way for me to run a totally fair, non-coach tournament is to kick everybody out of the bowl, including all the other bowlers, because we may have friends that know each other's game and say, "Hey Mark, are you raising up at the line?" He's coaching, even though he's an opponent. So I'm not going to have us bowl our tournament one person at a time with no one else in the building. So there is coaching, and I'm a strong believer in coaching. But here's the deal. How many of you do not know Dell? I mean, not that I haven't pointed him out, but you've never met him before, you've never shook his hand, you've never said, "Hello, Dell." Dell will help you probably more than he'll help his own students. All you have to do, if you're having a problem or you struggled on this block today, is go find the guy and say, "I'm having trouble, can you help?" And he will go out of his way to make sure you know what to do next, all right? So, there are restrooms. I think we even have concessions out front. We're going to take 15 minutes, and when we get back, we're going to have a blast. And I would recommend we not have any empty seats at the first 20 rows, all right? So see you in 15.